Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar with Nemanja about Blender and Photoshop magic. My name is Vicente Lochschmidt, and I am the team lead for the AccuColor series here in Europe. And I'll also be hosting today's webinar. It is really a pleasure to see all of you here with us today. We're incredibly excited to get going. Before we start, there's a couple of things that we'd like to share. First of all, being that all of you participants here who are here with us today are going to be receiving a special small gift from BenQ, which is namely a 10% discount code on the AccuColor monitors, which is for the PD series and the SW series. You'll be receiving this in a follow-up email after the webinar, and we'll also be sharing it during the webinar itself. For those of you who don't know, BenQ is a manufacturer of monitors and projectors, as you've been seeing here in the videos that we've been sharing. In the monitor series, we have two lines of monitors, which are the PD series and the SW series. These monitors are built for the ground up to really be built for artists, for photographers, for designers, for video editors, for content creators, and to really cater to the needs that you have as an artist, as someone who creates content, who creates art, who shoots, who edits, who retouches. The SW series is dedicated towards photographers, and the PD series is more for the designers and are also what we are calling, as you can see here below, really the Mac ready series that we have at BenQ. Now, all monitors at BenQ are really built for Mac users in mind as well, but the PD series come with a host of features and different functions which are really built and catered to offer you the best experience as a Mac user with a BenQ monitor. What makes a PD or an SW monitor so special also is the fact that if you are working with color, you know how important it is to really be seeing your colors in the right way. You don't want to be opening up a picture that you took or opening up a file that a client sent you and to be seeing different colors on different screens. You want to see the red as it's supposed to be. You want to see the blacks, the whites, the blues, and whichever color you want, really in the correct color. With BenQ monitors, you have the assurance to be working with the most color accurate monitors possible. Beyond that, you can see here on the right side the different links that you can access, the photography monitors, the monitors for Mac by BenQ, our upcoming webinars. We also have an exclusive offer from BenQ, which is that you get 1 year free of Pantone Connect Premium as a PD or as an SW user. This is no strings attached, simply 1 year free of Pantone Connect Premium for you to be using to have access to over 15,000 Pantone colors. On to today's main attraction, which is, of course, the webinar. We have today our fantastic speaker, Nemanja. For those of you who are not aware of his work, Nemanja is an incredibly prolific personality online when it comes to all matters of Photoshop, of design, of graphic design, and even now with Blender, with 3D software. If you have not yet had the pleasure of being in an event with Nemanja, we highly recommend it because the only thing that I think matches Nemanja's passion for design is his passion for teaching. He has an incredible energy, as you're about to see, really a fantastic teacher who's really passionate about what he does. And we think you're going to really get a lot of value out of today's webinar. So without further ado, I'd like to call Nemanja to the stage.
Hello, Vicente. Thank you for this amazing introduction. Let me just turn on my camera. And here I am. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining this webinar. Vicente already introduced me more than enough, so thank you so much one more time. You already know what we will do today. We will speak about and show also how to implement 3D elements into photography. That's an amazing topic because you can expand whoever is in a photo manipulation field or making photos even more interesting or doing some visualization for products or whatever. You can use 3D elements and easy implement them into your photography and make them like it's already there. It's a part of photo. Somebody took that as a photo, yeah. So before we start, I want to share my screen, but before that, I want to Vicente, can you just, yeah, I can do it like that. Sorry. I want to ask you guys we will do a poll. At what level with Blender, with 3D software, are you currently? So let me know here. I'm curious about that. I will give you a little bit of time to answer this. And to see how fast or slow I will go with this. So yeah, okay, pretty much beginners or hobbies. And another poll that I would like to share is at what level with Photoshop are you? So 100% professionals now. I'm sure that there are also hobbies here, but Photoshop is something that is more familiar to you guys than Blender for sure. Okay, I will give you a few more seconds if somebody didn't answer this. And for the last question is, what do you want to learn to use Blender for? So just type the question, just type something. What are your expectations? Why do you want to learn Blender? Why are you interested in this webinar? Sorry. So just type something. VFX, hobby, okay. I will give you a few moments just to see some of the answers. Sculpting, 3D animation. Nice. Okay, integrated into photo manipulation. Yeah, I use it for that, to integrate it in photo manipulation, because it's amazing tool to expand your skills. Because with photo manipulation, basically you can create anything, literally anything that you can imagine, but you know that your imagination is exceeding this world in a matter of you can imagine things that are actually not existing, and you cannot take photo of that. But if you're not good at drawing, there are people amazing in drawing that can make impossible things photorealistic. I'm not one of these, but fortunately there is a 3D that you can create something out of your head, sculpt or model, and you can use that as a part of your photo manipulation. So let me see a few more. Compose the Photoshop, making photo simulation, use 3D in Photoshop. Yeah, basically for photo manipulation. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I think you can see my screen. Can you, Vicente, just confirm that this part here is visible?
Yes, we see your screen. And one more note that I want to make for our participants today. If you go
Yes.
to the top menu and you press on CC, you can also turn on automated subtitles if you would like to use those.
Yeah, there is an option. If you want to read what I'm speaking, somebody maybe find this even better. So we will start with introduction to Blender. I will not go crazy about this because I already have a full series of tutorials. Let me show right here on my channel, 3D not 2D. And there is a playlist. You can go right here, and in the playlist, I will not go now in the videos, but you have all of these videos. So 10 videos, introduction to Blender from start, from interface to modeling to adding lights, materials, render, animate, etc. So I advise you to also watch that. And also, this is a pretty new channel. I recently started it, and there are a lot of things that you can learn here, and I will post on a regular basis and teach you guys Blender. It's mostly for beginners. Practically all these tutorials are for beginners, and if you're up to that, check out that channel too. So basically 3D is, you can do whatever you want, make this kind of library. Everything here that you can see, not everything, but all those photos that I'm showing have some of 3D elements. For example, this photo has this piano and the dress. Also, this photo has a bunch of 3D elements. This is everything 3D. It's made in ZBrush. It's different software, but now you can do exactly the same in Blender. Also, this is a bunch of 3D. Everything is a 3D except the building and the street. This hydrant is 3D, the trash can, everything here, these two models, myself and my friend, etc. So basically, there are a lot of 3D stuff that you can use for some products or photo manipulations. There are also here, only thing that is not 3D is the head of the model and the arms. Everything else is practically 3D. And I think this squirrel is photo and the butterflies, but everything else is 3D. So you can see there are a lot of applications where you can create something. I didn't obviously had this wheel to take a photo with this woman, like a Mad Max series, and obviously I needed to model it and to shoot the model in the studio, and then made a photo manipulation out of it. It's fun. You can do a lot of things with 3D, as you can see. So whatever you can imagine. So let's go back to Blender. And at the end of this webinar, you will be able to ask me some questions. So stay tuned till the end. If you want to ask me anything that you want, don't go after we finish with the topic. Stay a little bit. Okay. So basically, this is how the Blender looks. It's pretty standard 3D software, similar like others in some way, but the principles, either in Maya or Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max or Blender or whatever, the principles are the same of the modeling, etc. So this is how you see what you see when you open the Blender. You have the default cube, the famous default cube that we all like to delete and then start with something else. And you have one light and one camera and all the menus, etc. And also the tools right here. And these tools depends on which mode are you currently. So if you go to sculpt mode, you will have different tools and you will be able to sculpt and create with sculpting, create things that are like Batman, for example, like this. This is totally also this gargoyle of a lion is sculpt. I made it just by doing things with different brushes on the sphere practically, and then stretch like you're using I don't know in English how you say, but glina. I know, like part of the mud, and then you're using knives, etc., or with the hands and sculpting, etc. I don't know. So different menu with different modes. If you want to do some drawing, vertex painting, again, weight painting, different things. And the two most used modes in modeling are the object mode and edit mode. And in edit mode, we have these vertices. These are the points here of the model. And also we have edges, what the edges are, and also the faces. And we have the representations here, what they are. So the faces. And basically, we are modeling things in Blender by just doing like extrude with keyboard shortcuts. Like here you can see what I'm doing with my mouse. So E is for extrude, I is for inset, and E again extrude. And you can create things just by doing this kind of stuff. And I don't know, have fun with this and create something. I know what this is, but you can be creative and also bevel things and add different kind of geometry and so on and so forth. So basically, you can create anything that you can imagine. Also, if you don't want to learn the modeling aspect of 3D, you don't need to, because you can go and get 3D models. Let me show you right here. You can get, for example, CGTrader is an amazing website that I personally purchased a lot of 3D models, and you can type, I don't know, whatever you want. For example, you need the chair. Here, and yeah, here you have a bunch of chairs. I don't know how many results it's here. It's not stated, but 83 pages of different chairs, and it's pretty cheap. Also, you can just check here free and get some free chairs. Again, they're decent. Also, some amazing free chairs with the materials, and you can get that. So not just chairs, but you got a point. You can get whatever you want on these sites. There are people who are selling this as their job, so they're earning this way. So basically, if you don't want to bother modeling something, you can type, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't need to be a chair. It can be my spelling, spaceship. Okay, these are spaceships. So you have different spaceships, different whatever you want, space stations and things like that. And also You can get some free models, but because of my spelling, this is not especially. But again, you have free models that you can download and just put in Blender and use it like that. I'll show now. We'll go in Blender and show you how to measure perspective with your photos. But the beauty of flying object is that it's not that hard to measure perspective as with stationary objects that are touching the ground or certain elements in the scene. Then you need to be really careful of matching the perspective. But in both ways, the perspective is better to be matched because you can see the angles of the camera. If you miss the angle of the camera, like in photo manipulation, all the elements needs to be in same perspective, same focal length, same lighting conditions, colors, etc. So let's go to the Blender and let me show really quickly here. I will go and delete this slide because I want to delete something. I deleted the cube already. I will go back with the cube. So Shift A, and you can use any of these meshes of cube. Why not? And let me show. For example, we want to have to put a photo and to match this cube to basically composite it in one of our photos. This is just a quick example. Then we will go to the main topic, how I created this robot that is the cover for this webinar. So we have the camera right here. And if you click on the camera logo, it's right there. If you press 0 on the numeric keyboard, you're going into the camera view and you're seeing what the camera is seeing. And here on the right side, you can see the camera menu and you can see the focal length. So wider focal length or fisheye that cannot be now properly how to say it's shown. But for example, 50 millimeter. And also you have a lot of other options that are related to the lens, etc., and depth of field and other options to the camera. But what we want to do is to put our photo in the scene. So we are going here to background images and we want to enable it and just add image. This is it. And then you just go to open and find any image you want. Alternatively, what I like to do is just to drag and drop the image right there. It's so fast and easy. So now what we can do is to manually try to tweak the camera focal length here and to try to position the cube and so on and so forth. It's pretty difficult. I do the manual workaround if I took my own photo and I know the focal length of the lens that I use for example, this square. I don't know. This is just photo from I think unsplash.com, so some free stock websites. But for the photo that I took with myself and the robot in workshop, I took the photo. I know my camera position, camera lens, etc. So I can really quickly just put all the settings and I have everything here. But if you use some stock photos or other people's photos that you don't know the right properties, so there is really cool workaround. There is a software that is called FSpy, and you can use it in any 3D software. Basically, you are exporting the camera from 3D software, matching the perspective, and put everything back in, and it's perfect match. But fortunately, there is also not plugin, yeah, but my brain froze. The plugin, it's not called plugin. Come on, Nemanja. It's called add-on. I don't know. It's called something. It's called, I will maybe remember later. So it's Perspective Plotter. It's a plugin, a perspective plotter. And it's exactly the same like you can see right here. It's inspired by FSpy, but with that difference that you can do everything in the Blender. You don't need to export it and then back import to Blender. So I like it. It's a paid version, so it's not free. It's not too expensive, but if you want, you can get it on Blender Market. It's, I think, $18, something like that, 15 euros. And first thing that you need to do is basically to match it says background unmatched. What that means that our current resolution of the camera is 1920 by 1080, but obviously this photo is different resolution. If you just press this, it should work. It doesn't work. Why? I don't know, but I have a workaround for that. I go with the new document and I don't touch anything. Sometimes it's a bug for some reasons. So I just go and do that, and do that. And it's a live thing, so now it's working. Why? have no idea. So sometimes there is a bug. And we want to match the three axes, X, Y, and Z axis. There are three axes in Blender that or any 3D software that you're manipulating the object with, like in any 3D space, width, height, and depth. So I want to go here with the tree and say plot perspective, and you have these points right here that represent the axis, and I just want to put them in the certain places. You will see now how I will position them. I can zoom this, and come on. I love when this happens, especially when you're doing live. See? I will now make it again here. Okay, so you want to find some perspective lines that these will follow. So this is a y-axis, and it will follow this. And then another y-axis that is up here, it will follow maybe the roof part right there. And I'll zoom it right here and just do like that. It's a little bit boring process, but not too much. Then we have another x-axis that I want to put it right there. And another part of that x-axis, if you don't see these axes, there is a cool way to go all the way to the background here, and you can lower the opacity. Now you can see these axes. You can lower the opacity maybe a little bit, or you can go all the way up. Depends on the brightness of the photo. You can play with this, and it will help you to position this better. So this will go right here, and I will zoom it and drag it. For example, this top part of the roof here is okay. And also we need to go with z-axis, that is vertical axis, that will follow the line of this building. Oh, I have another x-axis. Okay, so this is cool with one z-axis. Let's finish another one right there. Okay, this is another one. Like that. And we have the last x-axis that I will go right here, right there. And you will see now the bottom of the building. And let's see here, bottom building. And it's pretty cool. If I press here, I'm done. I will go 100% to the image opacity, and this is our cube. It's perfectly fit in the perspective, with the difference that the grid of this 3D grid is a little bit up, so we can easily go and change that by going some here inside and go to the manual and on the z-axis and just put it up like that. And now you will see, I will go out of that. You will see if I move this on the, like that's G and Y, for example, it will perfectly follow the perspective. And if I go with G and X, it will follow this perspective, etc. And for example, if I want to put it near this monument, I will just go here and stretch this so I can have two windows. Press N to hide this side menu, and go to the top view and go right here. Zoom this for you guys to see better. Go hide this. I will eyeball it where this is, for example, here. And you will see now how cool is this. If I go into the edit mode right there and go to the faces, and I want to extrude this, or just to move it up, G and Z. G is for grabbing the object. You can see how it's following nicely the edge of the monument right here. Or if I want to go with this one and extrude it, press E, for example. See, it's perfect. And you can use it for anything. You can model this building and put a plane over the top of the building. It will perfectly follow that, and so on and so forth. So this is why it's really important to measure the perspective. So then whenever you go with your 3D object somewhere in the scene and move it, it will be there, like it's belonging there. Okay, so this is just the basic of how to match perspective and angles in Blender. Also, you need to measure the lights. That's a different topic that I will address, but on this example with my robot. And basically, there are several things how you can light the object in Blender. There are Shift A and lights. And we have these physical lights and these standard lights. And what I like to mostly use is the area lights or sun. Sometimes I use point lights, obviously, and spotlights from time to time. Depends what you like to achieve. But basically, these are the lights, and you can just press the light and move it anywhere you want. Let's go here and position our light, for example, here, move it up. And if you go right here to render this, you will see we have two render engines, Eevee and Cycles. They are similar but different. Eevee is practically a real-time render engine, and Cycles is, you'll see, it takes a little bit to render. This is like just without anything, but you can see probably some noise here. It's rendering in real time, and it's CPU and GPU. This is GPU based, so you always want to go with GPU if you have a good graphic card. And this is a photorealistic type of render engine, so it's a ray trace type of render engine. And you can go with the light and play position wherever you want, but also you need to set some kind of material here. So this is just, I'm going a little bit fast forward because I want to jump into the making things with Photoshop. So maybe I want like dark cube, metallic cube, and roughness a little bit less, so you can see. And basically, if I go with the light and make the light stronger, maybe 100 watts, you can see light shining right there. But you need to match the light of the environment. And there are amazing, also free lights that are called HDRI lights. So that's a spherical type of light. Let me show you really quickly here. If you go to polyheaven.com, these are HDRI lights. You can go inside here and choose any of the lights. It's like you're putting the whole environment there. So like you can, I'm here in studio, and you can just copy all the lights around me and just put it in the Blender, and it will be perfectly matched. So there are ways that you can make your own HDRI lights, or you can go right here and download. There are a bunch of them. You can see 677 of these, and try to find one that is the best fit for the thing that you're doing. And also on the top of these lights, I will just go, imagine that I downloaded something of these because I already have some of these on my computer. And what I like to do is go right here and go with right here, background color, and I want environment texture. And now everything is, like you can see here, purple, because we need to open the texture, Blender, HDRI, and I will go with, I don't know, cloudy sky, for example. And maybe you cannot see it, but now you can see it's cloudy sky, and it's just a sky all the way 360 degrees spherical. If I put another light here that maybe is a little bit better, this is like moonlight golf, it's lit differently. Maybe this is too much now for you, but you can see something is shining from this side. These lights right there, also I have this that I don't want. And also we will see the reflection, like from the lights that are behind this, we will see the reflection of the environment here. And if I put this to be completely reflective surface, you will see even more. Let me show really quickly. See, like it's mirror, and you're seeing everything. And this is why HDRI lights are really important, and also to match the project that you're doing. Or you can make your own HDRI lights with camera. There are a lot of tutorials online how you can do it. It's a little bit complex technique with the camera, but if you have a 360 camera, then it's really easy. You just place the 360 camera on the spot where you want to put your 3D model practically, and then take several exposures and make HDR type, high dynamic range type of photo, merge them together in Photoshop, and put it in Blender, and you have spherical type of light. This is what I did with my model. So now I will go and open, let me see if I have it here. This, I don't want to save this. I will open my other file, this, and this is the thing that we will talk about today. And I will show you how I made this. Basically, the robot is a 3D model, part of 3D model, you can see right here. And it's amazing that you can go and let me show you. You can go and just move it and position it however you want. Whatever you want, you can do with a robot when you make it. But in order to make it, yeah, you need to learn some Blender basics. And let's see here. See? Really cool. And I will not go into the making of 3D models. I just want to show you how to implement into photography. So imagine that you already have a 3D model, or you got from some online paid or free stock website that you find, like I show you CGTrader, and you have a model of a robot or a boat or whatever you want. So you're putting it in a Blender. This is it. And then you're using one of the techniques that I show you to measure the perspective. So either the free F-Spy camera, there is an instruction how to use it, or the paid add-on that I used, and just measure the camera. And then when you press 0, you have measured the perspective and with the camera, etc. This is just a background photo of me right there. Let me show here. Right here that I took for this photo manipulation, and this light here is actually just the focus point where I will put later the robot, and this is how I did it. Also, this plane here is something that is called shadow catcher. This is more in depth going into the Blender, so if you are up learning these type of things, follow my channel, you will learn a bunch of it. And light catcher is basically something that will catch the light, and you will see the shadows. It will not be visible in render. So you will see now, if I go to the render, it take a little bit. So let's see if I want the GPU. It will take a moment to load the textures. I'm currently working on laptop, so it's a little bit heavy for laptop, but it's doable. And you can see that there is this plane is not visible. There is only catching the shadow that you can see right here or right here. See, there is a shadow from the environment photo. And how the environment photo looks, I will show right here. It's workshop HDR that I took with my 3D 360 camera. And this is how it looks. Let's go here to film, transparent, and see, it's my workshop. This is me. And everything is all around where my things are. So basically, this is the robot is lit only with that light, nothing else, just that light. Let me just hide this. Just that light, and it's like original light from the set. This side is lit from one light that is uh, placed here. It's a little bit brighter, and the top is from this, and one light that is at the top, and there is one light from my back that is lit in the front part of the robot, and this is it. And when you're done, when you position your 3D model and match the perspective with your photo that you want to use for composite, then it's just matter of rendering. You can use cycles if you want to have photorealistic results, or Eevee if you want to have instant results, like really fast 3D rendering. Now it's loading all the textures, but basically whatever you want, you can just render the 3D model and place it in Photoshop. What we will do now, you can see how fast is this. This is Eevee on laptop, so you can see it's a real time. It's showing thing in a real time. And beauty of this is that you have all the reflections. This is a bar, the light that is showing from, that is bright lighting from this side of the robot. Also here, you cannot see right now because of the position, but if this arm is actually here, you can see the reflection of myself. This is why it's important to have this type of lights if you want realistic reflections, etc. Maybe here now you cannot. This is too small. But basically, this is Eevee. I love Eevee for certain work, and you can make Eevee look photorealistic. There are some tweaks, not all the time, but for certain situations, you can really go with Eevee. And then when you render it, I will just close this. I don't need it. We will now go into the Photoshop, and here it is. Here is the main part. So before we start this Photoshop part and how I actually made the photo manipulation, I want to bring back the Photoshop. I want to talk about one important thing in any type of designer's work, and that's monitors. And I want to ask you another poll, and that's, what do you edit your images with? So the poll will be out now. If Vicente is here, give us a second. So Vicente, if you can hear me. If not,
Hi,
never mind.
Nemanja. What is the question?
Yeah, the poll, what do you edit your images with? So I just want to see, are guys using laptops or using professional monitors or regular monitor, whatever. Let me see that. A lot of you guys are using professional monitors. That is great, because monitor is one of probably the most important thing in editing, in retouching, in doing anything with color related, with brightness related. So basically, you have that as a tool, as a hardware tool that is important in a matter of, let's go first with the health, eye health. If you have a good monitor, good quality monitor, your eyes will be rested for a longer period of time. If you have bad monitor, you will have some pains, etc. Your eyes will hurt. You cannot work more than 2-3 hours, for example, etc. I know I used bad monitors before, and I know the difference when I switched to a little bit better monitors than to BenQ's really amazing monitors, and I have few of them, and they're all amazing, all both PD and SW series. And from the technical side of colors, you want to have proper colors on your screen. There are so many times that people ask me, hey, I have some, imagining the colors, for example, yellow color on a monitor, but when I put it on the phone, it's a little bit greenish. So why is that happening? Well, you need to have good screens, calibrated screens with proper uh, gamut of color showing it, and also you will have then, you will not have all these issues when you want to print something. You know that you have a proper color profile, properly calibrated screen, and when you took it to somewhere to print it or to send to the client or to share with your colleagues and you're working on the same project, you all want to have really good calibrated monitors. And with the professional grade monitors, that's possible with less professional hobbies type of monitor. Even if you color calibrated with the hardware calibrator, still it cannot match color 100%, and that's so frustrating. I had some monitors a few years ago that I purchased the Spider calibrator, and whatever I did, I couldn't match colors properly, and that's crazy. And it's nothing more frustrating than that if you're working with the color. So you want to have that, but also I cannot say how much this, how many times actually good monitor that I'm looking right now at it is saving my eyes from hurting and having problems. Like I need rest after. I'm working more than I'm not a good example. I'm working 12 to 14 hours every day. It's not so good, but still I can work without any issues of have, I don't know the English word for that, but you know, when you need to do that or just go outside, I can watch all day in the screen and have no issue about my eyes are being hurt, to say like that. So uh, this is why it's really important. I really recommend BenQ monitors. Obviously, I'm a BenQ ambassador, but I wouldn't be an ambassador for BenQ if I don't like their product. Their monitors are amazing, literally amazing, and I cannot speak more, and I cannot recommend them more. And a lot of my friends actually that bought these monitors are more than happy. So for everybody who wants to go to professional level monitors, currently you have a discount code for this webinar, and you can use it to get 10% off. So you can use this opportunity and think about getting professional monitor, because it's totally different story. For you guys who are editing on laptop, I'm currently working on a laptop, but it's connected to the monitor. And the beauty of this is that I'm just using this cable, so just one cable, just this, and it's connecting monitor with laptop, transferring the image in the same time, charging the laptop, and I have a MacBook here, and it's charging it, and I don't need to worry about charging and other cables, etc. So just one cable, USB Type-C or Thunderbolt cable, and plug it in, and you're ready to go. So this is why I always like to address this issue. If you are serious in this type of work, or just a little bit more serious hobbyist, invest in a good monitor. Okay, now let's go to the Photoshop and let me show you how I did what I did. So first, when you doing anything, doing photo manipulations, photo retouching, whatever, how I like to do it is to have a plan in the front, what I want to achieve with this. So obviously, I had a plan before I took this photo, because this is how I position the lights and everything. And let me see if this is working. Yeah. Also, you want to grab some kind of graphic tablet, because now having a pen and graphic tablet, it's lifesaver. This is amazing for 3D, and without mouse you cannot work in 3D. But this for sculpting in 3D, for doing Photoshop work, etc. I don't know how I did my work with the mouse in the beginning. Okay, so as I already said, I have everything in pre-planned, where I want to position the lights. I have some lights also here, out of the frame and other parts of the frame. And then you want to go with some kind of mood in editing process. You can even emphasize this even more drastically or less, or however you want. So basically, what I like to do, I like to make the center part of the stage bright, and I want to darken the outer part of the stage and make this more like warmer tone, more yellowish tone, and things like that. And for that, I already have this. This is my original photo. It's a raw photo, and if I double click on this, it will the Photoshop. It's took with Fuji X-T4. And guys, sometimes the Photoshop doing crazy things. So if it goes crazy, and in camera it's not to freeze on Mac. I don't know why. Sometimes I will just reset it and do again with the settings. But also, this is just before webinar, I installed the newest camera 16, and it's a little bit different position of these options here. So now we have the lights and the colors together, and the effects together with the vignetting. It's not all the way down where it was. So hopefully this version of camera will be more stable. And basically what I did here, I just went with the highlights a little bit down, because this is too bright for my taste. I just want to see a little bit of details here. I don't want to go all the way down like this, because it's too much. I want to have some highlights visible there. And I didn't do anything much. I think, yeah, I color temperature is custom. As shot, it was like this, a little bit cooler, but it was 3350. Now it's 3550. So it's a little bit warmer right now. And that's it. And I just want to say, okay, go back in Photoshop, and I want to make a copy of this to make the outside part darker. But if you just go with Control J to make a copy, basically, yeah, you did a copy, but with the smart objects, whatever you change it here now, darker, and I press OK, it will make a mess, because the below layer is also dark. So I don't want that. I want to undo everything. And how to copy this, for you guys who don't know, right click and just go new smart object via copy. You need to go with this if you want to go with smart objects. If you just go with regular layers, you don't need to do it. But because this is a camera, this is a raw file from camera, I want to use it in Photoshop as a smart object, so I can always go and access all my settings in raw mode. Because I have a bigger dynamic range, it's much better than having this in just a JPEG. Okay, so this will be our base photo. and this will be our dark version. Okay. And for the dark version, I will go double click here and go with exposure. So eyeballing it, something like this seems cool. Also, what I can do is go to the effects, now it's here, and add a little bit of vignette also here. And also for vignetting, I like to go with a feather out. See what feather is doing. Let me show. This is, you can see this ellipse here. So feather is making like really cool transition. It's feathering. Okay, so I want a little bit of vignette just to make these corners a little bit darker. And maybe what I can do also, I can cool it down compared to this regular version, but I can also do it differently. I will show you both ways. So if you want to cool it down, just go here and just apply a little bit of bluish tint to cool it a little bit down. See before and after, it's a little bit cooler, but for now I will leave it like that and press OK. And now we have it here. Now what I like to do is to go and create a black layer mask. Oh, their new quick video for layer mask. Let's watch it now. Alt or Option on a Mac and just click on the layer mask and yeah, you have it. And now let's use a brush. What I like to use is really soft brush, and I start painting with a white color here, 100% opacity, or you can change opacity to 60, 50, whatever, but I'm controlling opacity with my pressure. So if I go with 100% opacity and slightly press, you can see I barely introduce this. If I press hard, this is why I like pen. So also, if you go with 60, the hardest pressure you made to the tablet is only 60% of the opacity. So what I like to do here is just slowly, gradually make this darker. And I want to make like light rays from the lamp. And there is already like this kind of a pattern here of triangle that the light is spreading. So I will follow that. Just want a little bit here and also here. And I don't care too much about myself. I'm not in that way. But here in the photo, I don't care if I will make a little bit darker edges. I will fix it. Soon you will see. Yeah, this is how it looks. Also, this part I will make a little bit darker. Okay, don't laugh, guys. Yeah. And now if you want to change something, you can just go again, double click here and okay, I or maybe let's undo this. Maybe I will want that dark. Maybe I want a little bit brighter or whatever. You can always go here and change it. And that's the beauty of working with smart objects. Okay, let's go. How you are seeing the colors here. Let me just check something. It's behind here. Give me a second. Okay, because yeah, because of when you put something on YouTube, there is a compression and you're seeing some things differently with banding, etc. So here I'm not sure if the stream is doing some compression, how you see the colors and blacks, etc. But hopefully you're seeing good. So I will go right there, and this is okay. If I want to make it even darker, no problem. I can just go, for example, with the curves, make it dark. I'm showing you different options. So you can go like this, invert, and again, just maybe I want this part a little bit darker. I don't know, maybe or maybe not. This is one way how you can do it. Normally, if you don't have a raw file, you can skip this and you can go with exposure. I like to use exposure or curves or levels or whatever you want. I like to go with exposure and basically just go and make it darker like this and invert it and do the same. I will just copy this layer mask and do the same, and you will have similar result. Okay, that's another cool thing to do. So now let's go back here. And now what I like to do here is to make this middle part a little bit warmer. So I will again copy this base part, use smart object via copy, go right and just warmer. Again, eyeballing it. Nothing special. Like the light here is, and again, I will add black layer mask by holding Alt or Option key and just paint here with white. Make this. I don't want too much on myself, just here a little bit, and this is it. Like it's a little bit warmer here. Also, if you want to cool everything down, you can just go with maybe color balance. Let me show you this. The beauty of Photoshop is that you can do the same thing in several different ways. I will clip to affect only this dark layer, and this will be warm. Okay, and let's go here. I will add a little bit of the blue, and also in the shadows, a little bit of the blue, like this. And let's see, before and after, yeah, you can see it's a little bit cooler. And now let me show that I said I don't care about myself. I mean about the selection, because it's really easy. Let's go to base layer, for example, and let's go here and go with the object selection. If I just go hover over myself, the Photoshop will do the smart job. It will select the object, subject in this case myself, and then I will go right here and with the white brush, I will just 100% opacity, black, sorry. I will, oh yeah, I need to, like this, with the black, and I will just delete this. If I invert this, Shift Control I or Shift Command I, then if I press Q, I'm selected and I can go around, but I don't want that. And I just want to go here on the layer mask. And if I want to make this part darker, close to me, I can do that. Let's see, maybe this part here. And that's, see, oh, I'm doing it here. I don't want on this layer, but yeah, it's okay to do it here too. I want to go on this one, Shift Control I, and go here and make this brighter. Okay, perfect. I see something is wrong. Control Command D, and this is it. This is how it looks before and after. We already added some kind of nice smooth here, before and after. And also what we can do is, let's go here, what we can do, I want to make this darker, is to desaturate the dark part. So hue and saturation, clip to affect only that, and desaturate a little bit, not too much. So I want something like that. Let's see, before and after. Yeah, just a little bit desaturation in the shadows, and that's really cool. Now we need to import the main character here, and that's this guy. Okay, and the beauty of this, I will just press enter. The beauty of importing the robot, this is, I just rendered this out. The beauty of it is that it has a perfect fit with the shadow, the proper shadow from the lights that are actually in the scene, and you don't need to do too much tweaking for the robot. You don't need to mess with the size, with the rotation, position, and so on and so forth, because you already did it in the 3D. Remember the first example where I matched the perspective with that square and the cube? When you position the cube where you want to be and render it out and then put it in Photoshop over the top of this photo, it will be exactly where you put it in 3D. So this is amazing, and this is why I like it. Everything with the shadows, so before and after. And we have the robot here. And now we can tweak the robot a little bit, because we made this side a little bit darker. We can go and make this side of the robot also a little bit darker. And for that, we can go with a curved exposure, whatever we want. I like to go with exposure this time. And yeah, I will go a little bit, like I'm looking just on this side right there, something like that. Go to the layer mask, Control or Command I to invert it. And now what you need to do is just to go with the white color, soft brush. I will limit to 30%. And I always like to build the effect. I don't go with 100% brush and just paint over the top. So A little bit like that, also here and here. And yeah, when I made this photo, I invest much more time, I can say like that, than I'm doing for this demonstration here, because I didn't have limited time. I have all the time that I want to do it, and it took a while, especially that when you're doing it for the first time, you do some kind of experimentation. You want this, you want this, you want this, and yeah. So also what I like to do is when I finish something, some direction I like to send to my friend Sloba, who is an amazing artist, 3D artist, VFX artist, and I like to send him to another pair of eyes, because I'm looking at this for hours, and you get used to colors, to everything, and for you it's normal, but then you cannot see some mistakes, some things that can be improved, and also other people see things differently. And if you like to hear other people's opinion, go and send your unfinished or finished project before you're published, just to few other people, to just see some, to hear some critiques, because these critiques are important. With that you can improve yourself and improve your artwork. So don't be shy, and go and share that with your friends before publishing, because you can change it. Okay, so here I did that, but I want to add curves and also clip to affect only the robot layer. The robot final number 6, so 6 iterations of the same render. So okay, final of a final. Okay, so I want to make it brighter, like this, and this is the final result. What do you think, guys? Obviously it's not good. I will invert the layer mask, Control Command I, and I will go right here, and I want just to add a little bit of the highlight here, a little bit of the fake light. So from the real scene, there is no this highlight, but I want to fake it a little bit, because later it will be better, like some kind of light leaking over the top. So a little bit like that, maybe a little bit here, even more to emphasize it. And maybe a little bit here. I don't want to do it too much down. Maybe a little bit here. And let's see, before and after. Yeah, somebody turn on the light like that. So this looks cool. Let's see if we need to do it anywhere else. Practically it's good. It's good enough. So there is another thing with this kind of stuff, is that you can go later with color grading to any direction you want, but I want to talk about something else. The main light and the brightest light in the room is this one right here, and this light will cast this shadow right there. But also there is light from here and light from here that are washing out this shadow a little bit, and also hitting myself, and I'm casting the shadow right here. So you can optionally create some kind of a shadow here, but in a real situation, this robot doesn't cast any shadow here, because that light is just missing a little bit myself. But we can do that. Let me show a really simple trick. If you want to do it, I will create, let's go to the background somewhere here. For example, I want to group all of this. Wrong button. So with the shift, I want to select all of this, Control or Command G, and name this robot. And I want to group all of this, Control or Command G, and name it background. And you can see it much better now. We clean up the room. You can breathe it easily than with everything in one group. Okay, so I will go probably right here. You can go anywhere in the background practically, and name this shadow. And I will show you how easy you can do something like that, but not particularly precise. So I will choose something of this color, and I will go with 100% opacity right here. And I can just make, let's see, like this is a robot head. Okay, crazy, but let's pretend. and neck and the body, and I don't know, a little bit here. And this is obviously too much. And now I can just go and lower the opacity and just have a little bit of that on myself. Obviously, you can spend even more time to tweak this, but I don't want to spend too much time here. Maybe even less opacity, just a touch, to have maybe some kind of impression that there is a shadow casting here. Maybe I don't want to cast on this part at all, but just on this part and move it maybe right there. Maybe, I don't know. This is just an option. So with these small tweakings, with these fake shadows and fake things, you can fool the viewer's eyes that like, there is a shadow from the robot. It's really soft shadow because there is a big light here, but yeah. And also this light is washing that shadow and this light, and you'll have something soft. You can make it a little bit harder, but also lower the opacity, and it will be enough. This is before, this is after, just a little bit of that trick. Okay, now what I like to do is to make the environment a little bit more interesting. So I want to add some kind of dust particles, and that is fun. So let's go to, for example, here. No, actually, yeah, let's go right here. And I have a photo of a dust particles. It's this kind of photo. And you just need to go with screen blending mode to get rid of the black colors. And it's really simple. I can make it bigger or rotate or do whatever you want. For me, it's enough to be somewhere here. And I will go with the mask, create a layer mask. Actually, I will invert it, Control Command I, just go with a brush and white color and just write some particles here. Like there is dust, a little bit of this type of dust. I don't want here. I want to remove it here. Okay. And pretty much this is okay. And now I will go with another one that I like it even more. This one. What do you think? I cannot think anything because it's a wrong file. It's this one. Okay, yeah, this is much better. And this one is not 100% black. And if you go with the screen blending mode, you will see still some part of the black tone, like semi-transparent. If you want, you can go with levels, for example, clip it to affect the dust particle layer and just go with the black and you will have this. But I don't want that. In this case, I will take advantage of this and I will just create a black layer mask and paint here and have even brighter. I'll delete this, don't worry. Have even brighter results here. Okay, I will go from here and delete it. From here, and now we need to blur this because it's definitely back there out of focus, so I will blur this. And to blur it, let's go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and a little bit. Oh, I'm blurring mask. I don't want to blur mask. I just want to blur, make sure that you're on a layer. So Gaussian blur, and you will see now. Okay, I want a little bit. Let's see, again, something like this. And also this one is already, this one is already blurred, so we can blur it or you can leave it like that, but I will blur it a little bit. And maybe less, something like that. And this looks cool. Also, if you notice, all 3D models that you're rendering are without noise. So there is no noise here. And if you look at any of these photos, maybe let's see some darker part, you can see the noise, a lot of noise here. So what I always like to do, and I always recommend to add additional noise to the 3D models, or you can add globally noise overall at the top when you finish the retouching. So sometimes I do both on 3D models and globally noise. Sometimes I just do it at the end. You cannot see the difference basically, but let me show you a cool trick how you can add a noise just to the 3D model in case you need it. So I will go right here, and before everything, before these adjustments, I will create a new layer and I will name it noise. And I will fill it shift and backspace, and I will fill it with 50% gray. Just choose here 50% gray, and that's it. And now I want to go to either overlay of soft or soft light, for example, because these blending modes right here don't see 50% gray. These blending modes don't see black. This don't see white. Okay, so soft light, for example, and now go right here, zoom it, and you can see the noise right here. So I will go with the filter, noise, add noise, and you can compare the amount. Now, obviously, this is too much. You can go with also color noise or monochromatic noise. I will go with the monochromatic. Now, I think this is enough. See, really nice transition. I don't know if you're seeing this actually because of the upload stream and everything, but practically these are the same amount of noise right here. Maybe 4.5. No, 4.5. Okay, and I will leave it like that. And now we can see that our robot has a noise. And you can also remove a little bit of the noise from the bright parts if you want. To do that, just double click here and say, all right, I don't want, let's zoom this a little bit. I don't want this by holding Alt or Option to make a really nice fade. I don't want this to be in a bright parts because usually in bright parts you can see less noise. So it's less noise. You can do that and maybe just go like this. I'm showing you just as an option. You can do that. We can do that later at the end. I will show you also that. But this is pretty cool. Also, what I don't like here is the background maybe is too dark. So, but maybe, just maybe. Yeah. I will leave it like that. Also, what I did here is I took this WD-40, WD-40, and let's see if I have it here. Yeah, I have it. It's right there. And I will go all the way up above robot. And come on, let's bring this back. And what I did with this, I just made the fun part that robot is actually holding this, and to put this into robot hand, you just need to go create a layer mask, control click to the robot selection and just delete here where the robot's arms are. Okay, just here, and then I will pick the selection. So this is cool. This is not cool. So you want this finger right there. And now I want a little bit harder brush. Let's go with something like 80% and just go here and Control D to deselect this and go inside. And you can see this is the part of the robot arm circle. And you want to go inside and with really soft brush actually this time because it's out of focus. Let's see, yeah, you can delete this. So you can spend a little bit more time. What I like to do is to go with this pens pressure soft brush and slowly build this. So yeah, I like to do this really slow and to enjoy the process. But again, for the purpose of the webinar here, I'm doing everything much faster. But you got a point. You know what I'm doing here. Okay, this is it. And now basically because it's holding it, we need to go with the spray and go with the exposure and clip to effect only the spray and make everything darker like that. I want to invert this, Control Command I, and go here and just make the inside part a little bit darker, obviously, because it's in shadow, and maybe also this part right there. And also we can, if I go to details, we will never end this, but I want to show you. So basically, if you make this darker, it's okay, but not that much. With this highlight, what you can do is to create a new layer, also clip it to affect that, and then you can choose some color, some different color, and paint over the top on that, and in that way make different highlights and manually build it I'm rushing it now, but yeah, you can manually build a different, come on, okay, different highlight, basically paint different highlight here if you want to be less pronounced, etc. But I don't want to do this right now because it will take a little bit. So basically, this is an option, and yeah, this looks cool. Okay, so let me just double check this. Looks decent. Maybe what I like to do here is to go here to the dark layer where we apply the darkness, and maybe really nice soft brush, and maybe I don't know, or 50% opacity, go and black color it is a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, this part here, this part there, just a bit like that. All right. Let me double check, because now I will apply something really cool. I will show a really cool trick that I like to use in all my photos where I want to apply some kind of glow. So this seems decent. We can do some dodging and burning to the model here, to myself, if you want to emphasize some things even more, etc. But I will leave it like that. And now I will go and just collapse everything. This is spray. I think this is how you spray. Not sorry. And now I want to add a glow from the lamp and from the eyes, etc. And for that, you can do manual techniques, and there are so many ways how you can do it. I have a bunch of these techniques in my tutorials on YouTube. I will quickly show you. Create a layer and go to linear dodge blending mode to set that layer into, then select color like yellow, for example. We want yellow, but this is too bright, so I want to go with all the way to saturated and darker tone that I want to apply my that I want to paint my glow. So maybe a little bit orangey, and you will see this color will now be really bright. See, and this is one way how you can add glow. Not bad at all, perfectly fine. You can add it lightly here, and then you can create another layer. And if you want, again, to linear dodge blending mode and go with even darker tone and more reddish, just change variation and go a little bit around like that. And also with lower opacity, I'm controlling the opacity with my brush pressure, but you can just go here and change the opacity and go like that. So you can do whatever you want here with this, and then maybe even lower the opacity, and then group this into Shift and both of these, Control G, group it into a glow. And I like to use hue and saturation adjustment layer just to show you can easily change the color to whatever, pinkish, no problem, to whatever you want. Also, you can change the saturation and you can change the brightness. So whatever you want, you can play with this, and also add curves, etc. So this is one way. It's perfectly legit way to do this kind of stuff. But what I prefer even more is a plugin from my friend Mario. It's called Oniric. I don't know if you heard about this, and I mentioned this so many times in my tutorials, but this is amazing because, let me just save this just in case. Okay, you just need to go here and you will see amazing results in a moment. I will unzoom it here. Okay, see? It's crazy, glow all around, but you have so much options. I will go to X-ray, and with the threshold, I will go and lower the threshold. So I will have a little bit in the back and here. Also, you can use a mask and paint manually where you don't want, where you want, etc. I will go with the threshold a little bit more, and then in Photoshop I will paint it a little bit more. So this is it. I want to do with the color. Really amazing. And also you can change any hue here that you want. But I will go with this kind of orangey tone. And later in Photoshop, I can change whatever I want. And also you can play with the radius, you can play with the exposure, practically with the brightness of this, and the opacity, etc. So radius is basically how much the glow is spread around the object. And if you go all the way down, you will see nothing special. And it's basically a little bit glowing, but I want this radius to be high for this situation. And for example, let's go with this. Let's press OK. And the beauty of this is that it's non-destructive. You can always go back in and redo things that you don't like, maybe, for example. So let's wait for a moment for this to be applied. And Mario made this plugin amazing. He has a few more of the plugins, but this one is amazing, and it's now updated to UXP for Mac, and it's much faster than it was. So really cool. I really recommend it. This is how it looks, and this is how the layer looks. See? Really cool. And yeah, I will go now here and add that hue and saturation adjustment layer and clip it to affect only the oniric layer. And you can do the same you can do in the oniric interface. You can change the color, you can change the saturation, and you can change the brightness. Don't go over one, but just go back here. Okay, so I will go less saturated, for example, like this. And I can go here, create a layer mask to oniric, and with, again, soft brush, maybe 20 or 30% opacity, I can just remove from some parts. Maybe I don't want to be here on myself or here. Maybe I don't want so much here, a little bit. And I want here, definitely. So something like that. The eyes are okay. This is glowing like it's light. And let me see. Really nice. This looks really nice. So before and after, this adds a lot to the overall feeling to the image. I really like it. And now let's go, and what I like to do is to merge everything together into one layer, Shift Control Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac. And now everything is in one layer. And usually how I like to do it, I will not do it right now because I have doubts about the new camera filter. I didn't test it, but I like to go with Smart Object, convert to Smart Object, and then go to camera. But in my experience, I don't know if it's only on my machine or it's a Mac issue. When I convert it to Smart Object, then the percentage of camera filter failing is drastically. So I like to do some color grading here. So let's go to the light. Maybe everything is a little bit darker. So also to open the shadows. See, so we made this darker. Now we'll make it brighter. Now just a little bit. Okay, the highlights. Sometimes I like to boost it in some situations. So don't hesitate to boost sometimes highlights. It will make cool effects. But contrast maybe a little bit. Here I will go with this maybe. Then with the color, I like the warm tone here. Overall warmer tone, like that. Tint, maybe, yeah, what I didn't do. Let's go back, cancel this. Yeah, I didn't do the robot. What thing, you ask? Well, I just want to, I see that the color of the robot, I want to change it. So I will go maybe with the color balance. And let's see, clip to effect only robot. And I want to make it a little bit more yellowish robot. See, I don't know if you can see this, but a little bit and a little bit of the red. Let's see the shadows. Can you see it? Huh? You're probably saying you're not seeing. Yeah, you're not seeing because of this layer. I cannot see anything. So shadows, reset. Shadows a little bit like that, and midtones. Okay. I'm happy with this. Actually, these are shadows. Highlights, I don't want to deal with the highlights. Maybe a little bit yellowish, but mostly midtones. Let's see. Something like this reddish tone. I like it. Not too much yellow, but more reddish, maybe magenta, maybe not. But this, before and after, just a little bit of that warm tint. If it's too much, you can always reduce the opacity like that. Also, I should make this a little bit darker, but not this time. Okay, just a little bit, maybe brighter from this side and overall darker, but yeah. So now let's go Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E and merge everything into one layer. Go to Filter, Camera Filter. Here you can play a lot. Okay, I want some cold look, but I want a little bit warmer look. This is how I want it. Also, what we can do, because this is new now, we have some explanations. Let's see. Let's see if I go. Okay, let's first do this thing. I want to go to the shadows and make shadows a little bit more cool. So see, shadows a little bit more cool. I'm emphasizing this to see what kind of color is in the shadows, and just a little bit like that. Perfect. And then I want to go all the way to calibration and just go a little bit towards the orange and teal look. See, this is like orange and teal look. I don't want that. I want just a bit of both and to desaturate a blue a little bit, maybe like that. Okay, if I press P on the keyboard, this is before and after, subtle change. I don't need to do too much here, but subtle change. Also, what I like to go is, let's see this. I never tried this, especially in this new version. There is a new option here, guys, in Color Mixer. This is a regular Color Mixer, but this is point color. And with point color, you can sample a color and come on, sample color this, and then you can play with the saturation, brightness, etc. But what is really cool about this is that you can go right here to the range and play with the range slider, select the pens, and also if your selection is not what you want, you can also make your selection here better. And then also in Luma range, but Luma range is okay. And then you can go play with brightness and play with tint, etc. So let's go back with this, and yeah, you can have different type of pens, maybe like this, more suited. But I will not mess with this. I like it how it is. And we can go right here and select subject. Let's see what it will select. Only myself. This is not subject. Really strange. And also we need this part to manually paint it, but why is this not subject? Then we cannot do that here. Okay, let's go out of this. And I like it this way. Okay, let's see. A little bit here, a little bit contrast. I want to go with saturation a little bit down. So saturation a little bit down, but vibrance a little bit up. I don't know what you're seeing, guys, but for me, these colors are too oversaturated, at least for my taste. And the effects, I can go with a little bit of vignetting also and feather it just a bit, maybe 12 or something like that. And I will press OK. And yeah, this is before. And this is after. And also what I like to do is there is another plugin that I like to use. It's called Nicolor FX Pro. This is the number 4, I think. Yeah, 4. And this is 6. This is the new version that I just installed. So I like to go to Analog FX, and I want to add some kind of chromatic aberration here. And let's see, lens distortion. And it's a little bit different interface. So there it is. I need a slider. It's here. Yeah, see? Wow, you can make some cool effects right there or something like this. But yeah, I want to go in the middle. Come on. Let's see before. Okay, a little bit to the left. Before. Oh, to 50, I think. It's a little bit different than previous versions. Yeah, that may be to 51. Come on. No, 49. more, 48. Definitely 50. It's strange, but it is how it is. Come on, 50, 50. Okay, so before, 50 it is. Before and after, and I can play with this slider and add chromatic aberration. I just want a little bit, like 20-ish%. And here I can see maybe 2 to 1. You can see, let's move this. A little bit of chromatic aberration added, see, all around there. And I'm happy with this. And there is another important thing that I want to do after adding chromatic aberration. If I do it before, everything will be messy, and that's adding a noise, overall grain. So for that, I like to go to Nicolor FX Pro. You can use a camera filter. There is also a grain option, but I like Nicolor FX Pro. I really like this plugin, using it for years. I don't know how many years, but I think almost since it came out. So here to my favorites, I have, oh great, to remember all my favorites from previous version. I have film grain, perfect. And this is how it looks. Let's go to 2 to 1. Let's see right here. And it's a little bit different. Let's see, film grain. See, really nice. I like it, not that much, but a little bit, maybe. Depends on the file resolution also. You can go with the soft and hard, a little bit over the soft, and you can go with the film contrast if you want. Let me show you on a full version how it looks. So this is normal, how my image looks before importing, except with the film grain, and this is with film contrast. So you can add a little bit of film contrast, and also you can play with the shadows and highlights if you want a little bit more or less. So this is like washing out the shadows and highlights, but I don't want that, maybe nothing. And let's press apply. And this is much faster. This new version of filter is much faster. And this is how it looks. This is how it looks, and I really like it. Let's see, this is what we started with. And this is the final result. Really simple and easy. And you can see how with the blender, when you have already matched everything, you can really easily position the model into the background and have everything right there. I will show you quickly a preview. I think you can see it now. So this is something that I'm working on. I need to add a lot of elements here, but this is my wife with the robot. And the beauty of this is that, again, this thing is crazy. Don't look at this. This is some mistake, but it's nothing important in render process. So let's see. Object mode, pose mode, and here I can play with the robot. And you know what I don't like? I don't like this. Preferences, interface, stick, default, save. Okay, and also it's okay like that. And I can position it to any pose and play however I want, and it will be beautiful. Let's uncheck. No, it will be visible. Maybe bones. Yeah. And now you can see better here the robot, what he's doing. And this, and see, I matched the camera, I matched the light, I took my HDRI light that I actually took there in the forest, and now we are making a scene where my wife Sanya is taking a robot for a walk, and it will be fun when I finish it. But it's the same procedure, same technique, matching the camera with the photo, and then just adding any 3D model you want, render it out, and export it in Photoshop, and you will see exactly this in Photoshop with all the shadows. We have the shadow catcher here. I think is this plane. No, it's not that plane. It's the road, and this should be here as a shadow catcher. Yeah, but we are not here in the render view, but this will be like a shadow catcher. It will render all the shadows and everything, and it will be really cool. So that's it, guys, for today's webinar. I really hope that you learn something new out of it, that you get some cool tips, tricks, and techniques. And now it's time for you to ask me some questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Vicente, you can come back if you want to see if there are some questions, so you can read
Hi,
it.
Nemanja. Yes, so thank you so much for the fantastic presentation. Just like Nemanja said, we are not yet at the end of the webinar. We have now the Q&A where you can ask Nemanja all of the questions that you've been meaning to ask. As said before, we have here the discount code in front of you. You can also find this discount code sent to you afterwards via an email, which will be sent out very shortly. And yeah, it's fascinating to see Nemanja really at work, to see how so much creativity can come out of so many different mediums. You have photography with 3D software, with Photoshop, and bring that all together into this seamless creation. I think it's really incredible to see how much is actually possible with the tools we have in our hands. And it's always so fascinating to see the process in action live from Nemanja and how he teaches that so well. So, to all of you now, feel free to ask all of your questions. Let's see. We have here Nenad is asking if you recommend any good courses to learn Blender.
There are so many good courses to learn Blender. I will recommend my beginner course that is free on YouTube, Blender beginner course, where you are learning all the things that you need to know as a beginner by making a rocket. Also, there is a famous Blender Gurus course, making a donuts. Also, I highly recommend it. And there are a lot of other free resources on YouTube. Practically just type Blender for beginners or crash course for Blender or something like that, and you will find a lot of beginner type of courses, and just go watch there. But don't just watch. It's really important when you watch something, okay, first time you watch it, but then make that thing that is presented in the course once with the help of the course, then try to make it completely on your own, maybe with the help of the course. But the end goal, the final idea, is to basically be able to create it completely on your own without help of tutorial, and then you will be able to apply that knowledge to anything else, to any other 3D modeling element that you want to create. So this is it.
Yeah, and one note I can make here, we have here on the link side that you can see on the right side, we have links to both of Nemanja's channels. We have one, which many of you probably are aware of, the Photoshop channel, and Nemanja has also recently started a Blender channel, which is already full of fantastic content that you can check out as well to learn more about Blender. We have here a comment from Giovanna. She says she's really been looking forward to one of your webinars for quite some time. She loves them. She just has one question. Could you make them more frequent? And she has a smiley face.
Yeah, but thank you, Joanna. Basically, you can watch my tutorials more frequent. So go to my channel, both of channels, whatever you're up to, photo manipulations or Blender, and I'm posting it as frequent as I can, consider to all my other things that are core life. But yeah, we have this year, we have with the BenQ 4 webinars, and we will have another one probably in a month or so. So make sure to follow on Instagram, and you will know when it will be. So see you then again.
We also have a comment that there was someone really impressed with the attention of detail that you had, and the way that you made something which is actually a fantasy composition look so real.
Thanks.
It's a nice compliment on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So no more questions. Okay. that's it. If somebody wants to ask something, now is the time. Ask me anything you want. Anything you want. First time, second time, third time. Okay. It's done.
We have We have a question here from Goran who says, "Can I watch this over again?" All of the webinars that you're seeing here, these are always uploaded about a month later on the AccuColor YouTube channel, which you can find on YouTube. You can also go to the third link, the upcoming webinars link, and you can also there find the recordings of all the past webinars we've done, including also with Nemanja. Nivina is asking, can you tell me the name of the Photoshop plugin that you used for the grain effect?
Nevena, Nick Color FX Pro. Nick Color FX Pro, just Google it and you will see. Now, recently they posted this version 6, which I'm seeing now for the first time. It's amazing. So it's amazing plugin. Okay, any more or
Any questions? Now's your time.
Yeah, that's Nick Color FX Pro for grain. For the glow, it's oniric. Oniric. Just type oniric, and first thing on Google it will be Composite Nation is for oniric. Composite Nation is the website.
Well, if there are no other questions, then I want to say thank you once again to everyone for attending, and a really big thank you to Nemanja for putting so much effort and so much really detail into not just the way that you created your creation, but also in the explanation of everything. We're really seeing a lot of your feedback here in the survey that we put, so much positive feedback. We're really thrilled by this. As said, the discount code will be sent to you afterwards. We also have here all the different links. We'll be leaving this room open a bit longer for all of you. A reminder also that the BenQ exclusive offer, you can also get 1 year free of Pantone Connect Premium. And if you enjoyed tonight's webinar, then we really recommend that you subscribe to the Instagram channel. Check out also the other webinars that we have happening. We're always organizing webinars on all types of topics for artists. So for photographers, design, wildlife photography, 3D animation, whatever it might be that you're interested in really in the artistry world. We're always constantly working with fascinating people. Nemanja is one of the many incredible people that we get to work with. And we're always working on bringing fantastic content to all of you. So
I just have one thing.
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
Before we finish, I see now that somebody has a suggestion, like maybe integrating AI generating parts for some of future topics. Well, it's exactly the same like any other photo manipulation. I just want to say that AI parts, or you find the stock photos, is the same principle. So whatever I'm doing with photo manipulation, it has the same rules with AI parts, with that difference that I don't like too much these AI parts and playing with that in a matter of making artwork with that, because people are not using it properly and making something and then telling that they made it. So there is a little bit of ethic problem there, but it's a topic for whole new conversation. But okay, I just wanted to mention that it's exactly the same principles like using any other stock photos.
It's a very good point. Yeah, and I think as Nemanja showed, really the amounts of work that would go into integrating this in such a realistic manner would, I think, at the end of the day, would have the same concepts behind it as well. But yeah, great. Then I say a big thank you to everyone. Big thank you to Nemanja. We'll leave the room open for a bit longer for all of you if you'd like to check out more of the links. And wishing everyone a fantastic evening.
Thank you, Vicente. Thanks, BenQ, for hosting this webinar, and everybody who was attending this, and see you next time. And just to answer the Goran, yes, you can watch the webinar again. You will get everything on email. So that's it. Okay, thank you, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.